Okay. Hey guys and gals, this is Chyler, aka True Tactics again. Before I start my commentary, I just wanted to thank all of you for the wonderful feedback on my vid. I appreciate every one of your comments, everybody who liked, everybody who shared, everybody who subscribed. I love you all. Now, most people have probably heard about the Special Air Service, which is the United Kingdom's elite special forces unit of the British Army. They have been in a lot of different video games, pop culture, especially Modern Warfare, and they have been around since World War II. However, not many people have heard about the Special Boat Service. The Special Boat Service is also an elite special forces unit of the British military, but they are part of the British Royal Navy. The SBS's motto is by strength and guile. The SBS originated in World War II when the Special Boat Section was founded in July 1940 by a commando officer named Roger Courtney. He had been unsuccessfully trying to convince higher ups that a folding kayak brigade would be very effective in the war, so he eventually would take matters into his own hands. He decided to infiltrate a British landing ship, the HMS Glengyle. Courtney paddled to the ship, climbed aboard undetected, and then made his way to the captain's cabin and wrote his initials on the door. He then stole a deck gun cover, made his way off the ship, and then presented the choking gun cover to a group of high-ranking Royal Navy officers who were meeting at a nearby hotel. He was soon after promoted to captain and then given command of 12 men. This became the first special boat section. The SBS would go on to operate on raids and recon missions during World War II and often work side by side with the Special Air Service. After the war in 1946, the SBS was disbanded and the title of SBS was adopted by the Royal Marines, where it became part of the School of Combined Operations. Their first missions were in Palestine, where they removed ordnance, and in Haifa, where they removed limpet mines from ships. They then served in the Korean War and were deployed on operations along the coast. And they also operated behind enemy lines, disrupting lines of communication, destroying installations, and gathering intelligence. In 1972, the SBS and SAS came to prominence when they parachuted into the Atlantic Ocean when there was a bomb threat on the cruise liner of RMS Queen Elizabeth II. A thorough search of the ship turned up nothing, and the threat was eventually seen as a hoax. In 1977, the SBS had their name changed from Special Boat Section to Special Boat Squadron. In 1982, after Argentina invaded the Falklands, the SBS was deployed to the island of South Georgia. There, they suffered only 2 casualties in a case of friendly fire. Then, in 1987, their name was changed again from the Special Boat Squadron to the Special Boat Service, and they became part of the United Kingdom's Special Forces Group alongside the SAS and the 14th Intelligence Company. In the first Gulf War, the SBS carried out one of its most high-profile operations when it liberated the British Embassy in Kuwait, rappelling from the helicopters hovering above the embassy. When they were also responsible for carrying out diversionary raids along the Kuwaiti coast, which in effect helped to divert a number of the Iraqi troops to the area of operations where the SBS were and away from the main thrust of the coalition buildup. Then, in September 1999, the SBS were involved in operations in East Timor. A small SBS team landed and drove out of the back of a C-130 Hercules transport plane in Land Rover Defenders at the airport in Dili. In September 2000, the SBS were involved in Operation Barras, a hostage rescue operation in Sierra Leone. The SBS had an extensive role in the invasion of Afghanistan and were involved in the Battle of Tora Bora. The SBS were also used in other vital phases of the invasion of Afghanistan. A small SBS contingent secured Bagram Air Base, which would then be used for the deployment of larger forces and would become the main staging area for Allied forces during Operation Enduring Freedom. They also participated in the invasion of Iraq. On March 8, 2012, a small special boat service team, along with the members of Special Forces Support Group, attempted to rescue a British and Italian hostage, British Chris McManus and Italian Franco Lamolinara, held in Nigeria by members of Boko Haram terrorist organization which was loyal to Al Qaeda. The two hostages were killed either before or during the rescue attempt, and all hostage takers were reportedly killed. In the past, the SBS was staffed almost entirely by the Royal Marines. However, volunteers for the SBS are now taken from all British Armed Forces, although volunteers still predominantly come from the Royal Marines. Candidates wishing to serve with the SBS must have completed 2 years regular service and will only be accepted into the SBS after completion of the selection process. Thanks again for all the support, and if you enjoyed this commentary, please press that like button, drop a comment, and if you haven't yet subbed, a sub would be very much appreciated. Thank you, and this is True Tactics 2, signing off.